So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to listen without taking it personally, and we'll do a little exercise with that. And then you can go into maybe break out and go into some discussions if you like. So now that we've established that the space has resources and that it's not empty, but it's actually something we can use, because of the nature of the situation, I'll have us work with our own inner critic. You could certainly do this with a criticism someone has given you, or a criticism you think someone might give you. In this case, you could work with a criticism you've given yourself. So I'm going to demonstrate. And like we did in the first exercise, I'm going to tighten up. I'm going to go into my personality's embodied pattern, which is crossed and closed and a little bit low and heavy. And I'm going to say to myself, which is a criticism I give myself, Wendy, you've been working on this new book for 2 years. I don't see a lot of good progress. I think you're just procrastinating. And that's very typical of me. And then I feel as a little bit of guilt and shame and a little irritation, and it's very indicative. So first you'll all do that and then just notice it. To get the most from this exercise, it helps if you exaggerate a little bit. In other words, when I'm closing, I tighten a little more than I might normally. That'll just help trigger all of that part of my personality. Once I've noticed that, now I'm going to change up. Okay, let's do this. So everybody just do that. Everyone who's on the call, come up with a criticism you give yourself. Close and tighten, and then say that criticism to yourself. And just kind of, it should feel familiar, and you should, it's likely you might have some negative emotional reaction to yourself. Okay, let's stop, because I think we all got there pretty quickly. Most of us do anyway with self-criticism. Once again, let's go into a different state. So sit up straighter again. This time as you inhale up, try to imagine there's a little clouds between your vertebrae, so your vertebrae actually lengthen. And if you can try this, if you're watching, this is kind of fun. Touch the top of your head with your hand, and then pop your hand up like this, straight up above your head, and feel how your energy pops up and lightens up. Now as you exhale, soften and think of something that makes you smile. And do it one more time. Inhale, a little bit upliftedness in the spine, a lightness. And as you exhale, breathe down, soften, think of something that makes you smile. Once again, extend your personal space out. Look out the window or look to the corners of the room. And you could even take your arms, and reach them out a little bit. Just have a feeling of extending and opening. We're exaggerating a little, but it won't hurt to really expand yourself out. Nice. Now see if you can think of an archetype that you can imagine would handle criticism with a little more grace. I would often use Nelson Mandela. In my imagination, he's someone who would be graceful in the face of criticism. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's just, could be anything, could be a movie character or whatever. Okay, and now that you've done that, what I'd like you to do is look in front of you and find a spot either on the desk in front of you or in the room in front of you. And I'm going to have you say the words to yourself and put them out there in that spot and look at them. So I'm going to say the words to myself about my book. I'm going to say, Wendy, you've been working on this for 2 years. I don't think that you're making much progress. I think you're procrastinating. And then I'm going to put those words out there. I'm going to look at them. So they're at a distance now, and I'm in a different state. And as I look at them, I have, for myself, quite a different reaction to it. I think, yeah, that's right. I have been taking a lot of time. And actually, I'm going to use this moment where my inner critic gave to me to give me a little bit more of a boost to, let's see if you can put a little more time in and find time during the day to spend some time doing it. So I had a very different reaction to my own inner critic when I was in this different state of being. If you can just discuss a little bit the difference between experiencing your own inner critic and what it was like to talk to yourself when you were in a tighter, more constricted state, and what it was like to hear that criticism, not only when you were more open, but you actually looked at the words at a distance from yourself. It's a little bit like if you ever had a friend who they were going through a relationship and it wasn't doing well and they couldn't see it, but you could. The reason you can see it is because you have distance. I have a friend who's going to make a coaching t-shirt. He said he's going to make a t-shirt that says, I can help you with your problem because it's not mine, which I thought was very cute. Mm. So that's what we're trying to do in this, is get some distance from ourselves and look at what we said. And maybe we have a little bit more insight or view on our inner critic instead of being so negative about it. The tip is, let's do it. So before I leave you, let's just uplift a little bit more as we inhale. And then let's soften and think of something that makes us smile, just to feel that. And then just let yourself radiate out, whether you want to stretch out your arms or not. Just feel yourself expand and radiate out. And then invite inspiration to come through you. Open yourself to wisdom, compassion, confidence, courage, because it's there. And if we open ourselves, it comes through. So I thank all of you, and I hope you have many noble, awesome, and shiny moments going forward, and that we can support our clients and everybody that we touch in the world to be more embodied, more whole, and to live more into their potential.
That's beautiful.